We are working on the shower floor today. So just got underneath there, figured out where I think I'm going to fit the gray water tank, and from underneath I figured out where I had space to run a drain and some hose and stuff. So what I did to start from underneath is I found the spot where there weren't any holes or metal beams and just drilled up through here. And next I'm just going to run a drill right back down to the bottom there. So you guys should be able to see that. This is just the right size for the drain to go through, and then I'm going to see if I've got enough length to thread length. So just eyeballing it, it looks like we probably don't have enough here, but we will see. Because what we have to do too before we put any tile down is we're going to put a layer of hardy backer. So I have to remount this hole just a little bit, but just eyeballing it, it looks like I'm only going to have enough to barely get through the hole. So I'm going to probably need to find a longer drain with more threads on it to do that with. Alright, so now that we have our hole in the floor, what we're going to do next is we're going to make this real fun. We're going to do a slope from here down to here, a tiny slope here, and then we're going to try to do some on the sides too, and maybe just keep this all kind of almost conical towards this drain. It's going to make it real fun to tile, but whenever the bus is parked off angle or something like that, this will allow it to drain, even if it's not on flat ground. So that's what's going to do next. What we're going to do is we're going to take little chunks of wood here. We're going to try to slice them so that they're at a good angle. Keep them nice and shallow on this end and go the whole length over there so it doesn't feel super steep when you're in there. But and we'll build out basically a little frame around here, and then all aiming towards the drain. And then finally we'll go and cut some of the hardy backer to be the right shape, and then we'll put the vapor barrier down underneath the hardy backer, and then go from there. Alright, so quick update. Shower drain. We've got pretty much, it's like a 3 to 4 degree angle on these little pieces of wood. They all, as you can kind of see, angle towards the drain here, but it shouldn't be so steep that you notice it when you're sitting on the toilet or something. So these are all tacked in. I'm going to go get the cement board. I'm going to cut it all to size. And then I'll pull it back out, add the vapor barrier, and then we'll go back and put the cement board over that. So we got the waterproof, super expensive cement board so that we don't have any risk of mildew or mold or leaking or anything like that. So Okay, so I've got this guy pretty much sunk in. One thing I did that's non-conventional is I did actually use drywall screws here, because these will suck down the hardy backer a little bit. The hardy backer screws just tend to stop when they feel resistance, so they don't crack it. I did pre-drill all these holes so that I don't crack it. You will probably notice if you do this or watch YouTube videos, they'll tell you to try to space them all out like roughly 4 or 5 inches apart. I'm doing just a little bit of a golf ball test. Right now the van's on a pretty steep angle because I have the driver's side jacked up, but this is telling me just that where I have it right now, I probably need to add a little bit more material here just to make sure that we drain back this way. But then everything else I have does drain towards where the drain is located right here. So all pretty good stuff, which is what we want to do. Also, I did do the score and snap method and it broke, so I had to resort to just a circular saw. So you'll notice I do have 2 pieces here instead of just one big one, but that's all right. Okay, so what's next is vapor barrier. Pretty much going to use our massive tarp here, and inside the whole frame structure here, pretty much up to the windows, I'm going to go around and staple this into the framing, and then I'm probably going to do 2 layers on the bottom at least, just to give myself like a really thick and low risk barrier. And then everywhere I put screws in, I'm going to put some sealer in too, just so if there was leaking through the tiles somehow, we don't have it leaking into the floor. So it should all end up in the vapor barrier and then down to the drain. So we're on our way. Okay, so we've got everything all plastic wrapped up, like you've seen from Dexter. Our floor is all hardy backered in, so this should be really good for rolling anything on. Again, you can see the drain works pretty much. If you put the ball in there, it's going to make its way to the drain. And again, the vehicle's still jacked up a little bit, so it's not going exactly where I want it, but when it's flat it probably should. And then underneath, I was thinking about how I'm going to hang the tank. So there'll be a tank that goes like pretty much from here forward in the bus for the gray water, and that was going to, this will drain into that. I have to get a sink drain. The one I got as a shower drain, it just doesn't work. And the sink drain will be a flush mount, so I can put it in flush, and then I will tile up around it, and then just leave out a tile here for that last drain section, and I'll just put some sealer around it to make sure this point is lower than all of the tile. But yeah, so we got the tank all mounted underneath. So it's got the 3 metal straps, and it's got ratchet straps around it too, just to keep it nice and tight. Shouldn't be going anywhere. Foam pads to protect it from the metal. So that thing should be pretty sturdy. I tried shaking it. It isn't going nowhere. It isn't going anywhere right now. Just flash back to living in Kentucky there for a second. Next, we're going to do tile in the bathroom. Between last time you guys saw the bathroom and now, did put the drain in here. This is just a straight sink drain with a nut on the bottom to tighten it up. Just went around that with a little bit of caulk there. Next, I'm going to figure out tiles placement and then cut, and then we'll do a real thick layer of adhesive on and then set them all in place where we want them. So I'll set you up on here to watch. Okay, so pretty much got these things all roughed in, cut all the edges so they fit nicely. What I'm going to do now is try to pull them all out in order so I can remember where they all go. And then I'm going to probably start with this guy because I want to make sure the drain is centered. But I'm going to basically take this super intense glue, heavy duty construction glue, and cover the bottom. I freaked out the guy at the hardware store because he was like, whoa, if you put that under that tile, it's never going to come up. And I said, I think that's the point, because it's going in a bus. I told him that too, so I wasn't like just being a jerk. But in buses, they go over bumps. If they vibrate, they shake. And ceramics don't do well under that. And cement and things like that don't do well under those conditions. But adhesives do. And then it's going to see lots of temperature differences and things like that. So it's going to get glued to the floor. And so if it ever has to come out, you have to take out pretty much the whole hardy backer and everything underneath it to get the tile out. But we're going to cross our fingers and hope no one wants to remodel this thing for at least a little while. Okay, so we got it all glued in, good to go. Pretty much everything is sitting on here. I've used a real generous layer of adhesive underneath, so it will set over the next 48 hours, and after that we can come back and grout. But we've got the drain, which is the lowest point, which is cool, and then also like we did when we did the hardy backer, everything is sloped towards the drain, so we shouldn't have any draining issues unless we're parked on a super steep incline. But this looks pretty sweet.